a Secret Service counter sniper, is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team is announcing he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style assassination. And the only reason that hasn't happened is because they've gotten lucky.
Just wait until you hear what this counter sniper actually said. All that and more after a quick break from my sponsor. Well, folks, the FBI calls it house stealing. And this is something I have been warning about here on my channel for well over a year because it's such a huge problem. Scammers can transfer your home title, take out a loan in your name, and leave you with nothing but an emotional and financial disaster. If you own a home or real estate, then it is absolutely critical that you protect your property and equity from these types of criminals. And in fact, I know of no better way to do that than by checking out HomeTitleLock.com. If you haven't checked it out before, now is the time. And the good news is they are giving away to my listeners 30 days free of Home Title Lock's triple protection, which includes 24/7 monitoring of your title and also urgent alerts if anything changes. And most importantly, restoration of your title if there is any fraud whatsoever. And all you have to do is enter the promo code Lisa right there in the coupon section you can see on the screen. But protect your home equity and even your peace of mind right now with HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com. If you want more information, click that more button if you're on your cell phone or click the link in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast. Well, you guys are going to be floored by this statement from a bombshell whistleblower counter sniper there in the Secret Service and what he actually has to predict about the next 30 days. Let's go straight into it. And for that, I found it originally on a tweet that was published on X, or I guess a post now that was published on X. And it was published by Susan Crabtree. And here's the actual letter that was leaked to the public by this counter sniper Secret Service personnel. And I'm going to just read what it says because this is the most powerful point. But it was released Monday, July 29th. 2024 at 10:34 at night, so very late. Thank you for the backing and support. I'm not stopping until 5 high-level supervisors, one down, meaning Keem Chethel, are either fired or removed from their current positions. The agency needs to change. If not now, when? The next assassination attempt in 30 days? Question mark, because we all should expect another attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership. The technicians who worked on July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania, did their job with their hands tied. Secret Service supervisors knew better, and the foot soldiers were working, made the best of a bad situation that resulted in a civilian death and a near miss of the protectee, and our technician shooting and killing the suspect. I know many look at the CS team as guys who sit on the roof and don't do much, but our responsibility, our mission is not about protecting an empty White House located on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's about preventing and stopping another JFK-style assassination in whatever city that may be. Sadly, we have fallen short for years. We just got lucky and looked good doing it. I have conveyed these thoughts to not only supervisors, to include the current captain within CS, but those responsible for training the SOTS and CS, only to be brushed off as if those with less experience somehow knew more than me. The team I was once proud to be a part of is something I have to now somehow hide as I move into my next career. Who wants to hire a USSSCS guy who failed? That's the public perception I'm now faced with. The USSSCS team is a stain, and I will never be able to clean it or cleanse it. Some of us take our job and responsibility seriously, deadly serious. this. I may be overzealous, but after 7 years in the Marine Corps as an NCO and 20 years on the USSS counter sniper team, failure is not an option. And on July 13th, we failed, not because of commitment or sense of dedication, but because of our supervisors, aka leadership. They knew better and thought our concerns were less important. Bombshell. So he made quite a few powerful points in that one. He says, I'm not going to stop blowing the whistle until 5 high-level supervisors are either fired, he says, or removed from their position. He goes, one of them have already been removed. That would be Kim Schethel. Now, I contend to you that my guess on another one would absolutely be Ron Rowe, who just got appointed in lieu of Kim Schethel, and they were both responsible for this entire event. Now, as of the other 3, I'm not sure, but all I have to say is Kim Schethel is the only one that has resigned at this point. Nobody has been fired. Nobody has been let go. Nobody has even barely been reprimanded-ish. And all the Secret Service and FBI are actually doing regarding this right now is covering freaking everything up. And it pisses me off. We need more whistleblowers within the Secret Service to come forward. And quite frankly, he also made another very bombshell statement about the next 30 days. He said, look, you've just exposed all of your... What did he use? The word he used, our inability to protect our leaders. They've exposed all of where their loopholes are, where their inabilities reside, right? So now everybody looking in says, oh, they don't put somebody on a roof here. They don't do this. They don't do that. And so now they know where all the holes in the Secret Service lie. So he says, quite frankly, he says, we've exposed our inability to protect our leadership. So we could very well see another assassination attempt within 30 days. Who could that be on? Anybody's guess. You'd think both sides of the fence would want to protect all of our people, including Donald J. Trump, including RFK, including Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Doesn't matter if I hate them. They are still the president and the vice president of the United States of America. They all need protection. And right now, I have little to no faith in the United States Secret Service as well as the freaking FBI to do the investigation. Meanwhile, only one person has stepped down. Nobody has been fired, and Ron Rowe is somehow still in charge there. He needs to step down and be fired as well. This is just insanity, what is going on. Meanwhile, they had the hearing just the other day, the congressional hearing on all the mishaps of the Secret Service, and the leader there came out and said, gave a Democrat talking point in the midst of all of it. And I got to show you this because it really pisses me off. But here's the video. Take a listen to what he says here and listen very closely. This is the Democrat talking point of the whole thing, which the Democrats are going to run with, but it's stupid and it's not true in my opinion.
And social media accounts. Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. While the investigative team is still working to verify this account to determine if it did in fact belong to the shooter, we believe it important to share and note it today, particularly given the general absence of other information to date from social media and other sources of information that were...
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So basically, he just gave the Democrats their talking points. Well over 3 years ago, we believe we're not 100% sure as of yet. In other words, he shouldn't be sharing it unless he has absolute validity. But because they want to run with the story for the Democrats, that likely is going to come out to be fake news later and not true, because it's just speculation right now. We're not 100%. So we find it very important to say that this guy is anti-Semitic and anti-immigration, from post 3 years ago that might be his. But what's interesting, Andrew Torra, of Gab, who owns Gab, actually believes he has information belonging to the shooter that completely contradicts what they just stated about Trump's assassin. Completely contradiction. Because look, it makes no sense at all that a Trump supporter is going to go and shoot Trump. It's the stupidest, most ridiculous thing I ever heard. They're literally trying to paint this guy as some kind of right-wing extremist killing what they would call the president of right-wing extreme. It makes no sense whatsoever. But this is what they're going to try to run with. Don't let them do it. Here we have this Andrew Torra, and especially since they don't have a verified fact, but Andrew Torra is out there saying, hey, I believe, he's not saying with certainty either, but he's saying, I believe this belongs to the account of the shooter. He says the FBI is now claiming that the Trump shooter, Thomas Crooks, had an unspecified social media account. That's the clip you just saw, and they said it was anti-immigrant and anti-Semitic. So he's repeating what we just stated there. He goes, this isn't consistent with Gabb's understanding of the shooter's motives based on the EDR, the emergency disclosure request we received from the FBI last week. So the FBI sent them an EDR and says, hey, we want to know what's on the content Epic Microwave. Now, Epic Microwave, by the way, is believed to be Thomas Crooks' account on Gab, right? But he goes on to talk about what was actually in there, and he says the story as far as what is in his social media account as Gab, what is believed to be Thomas Crooks' social media account on Gab, right? It is an account that is unequivocally, without question, pro-Biden and pro-Biden immigration policy and even pro-lockdown, by the way. To the best of Gabb's knowledge, as of 2021, Crooks was a pro-lockdown, pro-immigration, left-wing Biden supporter. And then he goes on to share the EDA that was sent to him by the little old FBI. Nobody trusts the FBI anymore, by the way. Nobody. We just don't. There's no reason to. They've been lying to us for a very, very long time, and it makes me sick to my stomach. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we need somebody on the outside looking in to investigate it, because I don't trust the FBI to do it. I don't trust the freaking Secret Service to do their own investigation. We need an independent source to do this, because God forbid Christopher Wray, Mayorkas, and a lot of them already did a lot of mischievous stuff to Donald J. Trump, including the, Russia collusion hoax that they pinned that wasn't even true. Let's just not get into that. They cannot be trusted. In fact, I'm not going to play this, but one more really shocking thing that happened is the SS director, the former SS director, came out and she admitted to using encrypted messaging apps on their personal phones regarding colleagues in government and overseas. And she actually states it in this. So that's actually illegal, by the way. So somebody needs to be asking questions on that as well. Anyhow, I wanted to get all of this to you. Please continue to keep the president in your prayers, or the potential president again in 2024, Donald J. Trump, in your prayers. Because quite frankly, this statement that was made by the counter sniper, and he sent it Monday night, right? Really sends chills down my spine, because they're not firing or doing anything about these mistakes. They're saying they're making changes, but not really. We don't really know what those are. And meanwhile, this puts the president, the vice president, Donald Trump, and even RFK at risk if they can't get their crap together. Right? I don't want anybody to die, quite frankly, especially Donald J. Trump, who we need to lead this country for the next 4 years. Anyhow, I wanted to bring all of that to you. I love you guys. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out. Can't wait to read your comments.